Incompetent. That was the first word that came to mind yesterday. I was getting frustrated after spending over an hour trying to use the federal government's website to access the 2017 budget documents. I was unsuccessful because the website isn't working. Well, it reminded me of the story this week where tens of millions of dollars that have been spent on the new Phoenix Pay system introduced last year, which is a total disaster. It functions so poorly that 82,000 federal workers didn't get paid. 20,000 got overpaid. Some got paid double for vacation time that they actually had taken. Overpayments up to mid-October for the old and new system for 2016 alone. Just 2016 overpayments, $56 million. You want a shocking stat? Between 2012 and 2015, Public Services Canada estimated that $256 million in overpayment to employees. Now, then you got to add on 2016's numbers onto that with the new Phoenix system. The new Phoenix system is such a mess that government's now raised the estimate to fix it from $25 million to $50 million and counting. The best part? Oh, this is the real clincher. It was revealed this week that $4,827,913 in performance bonuses were paid to the public service executives overseeing the calamitous Phoenix Pay system. Performance bonuses. Really? So how could I possibly expect something so straightforward as the government's own website and the finance ministry to be able to offer me up the 2017 budget documents? And by the way, if I had been able to access them, just through experience, I can tell you any kind of straightforward question you have, you got to work hard to get it answered. I don't know about you, but I find these kind of stories particularly galling at tax time, when I'm forced to confront the fact that I work nearly half the year for some level of government. And while you can have your own personal evaluation, of course, in my case, I don't get my money's worth. But that's fine. The government isn't there to suit me personally, and I'm certainly no victim to government. But it brings me one of the big questions that's always really puzzled me when it comes to politics and government spending. Now, I know there are, of course, political divisions when it comes to what size the government should be. There are debates about deficit spending. There are divisions based on what areas the government should be involved in society. But no matter if you prefer smaller government or the current ever-increasing size, or maybe you even would prefer a full-fledged Castro-like government in control of everything, I would still think, regardless of that view, that spending taxpayers' money efficiently would be important, regardless of your political philosophy. But it's not. Well, sometimes the opportunity to score political points at another party's expense encourages some feigned outrage at the latest revelations. It might be in a federal or a provincial auditor general report outlining millions being mismanaged or wasted. I still think it's fair to say that government inefficiency and waste is considered more a right-wing issue. Certainly my emails suggest that. The name-calling, because I'm talking about efficiency in government spending. But we just had a clear example with the recent report by the Institute of Fiscal Studies and Democracy, which had found that billions in spending on programs that were already focusing on innovation and adult education and skill training had no performance measures. No cost-benefit analysis was done. In short, we had no idea if the money is spent effectively or not, but it didn't seem to bother big government advocates. In fact, many are insisting on spending more in those same areas. But I've always found it ironic how little those who push big government are so disinterested in how efficiently government spends money, given that inefficiency, incompetence, and waste is the reason so many people are opposed to bigger government. Hey, we had a referendum out in Vancouver a couple of years ago. It was on transit, and it provided a vivid illustration. The vast majority of the public supported better transit, but they didn't trust the government to spend the money efficiently, with good reason, so the referendum was soundly defeated. But it came as a complete surprise to the supporters of transit, which included unions, business groups, you name it, every power group in the province supported it. They never saw it coming. I mean, anyone who's read the details of virtually any Auditor General's report knows I'm not being picky. Choose your scandal. Billions wasted in the Department of Native Affairs. Oh, billions more in the Department of Defense. On the green energy file, where the bureaucrats themselves stated after $4 billion was spent on trying to comply with the Kyoto Accord, The bureaucrats themselves said they hoped before the next round of funding, some goals would be set. $4 billion was gone, wasted, no progress. It's beyond me how the majority of Canadians can think we can afford inefficiency and waste. Obviously some do, especially given the obvious financial challenges in healthcare, federal public sector pensions. That's just two areas, of course. Then you get the constant demand for ever-expanding programs. As the different Auditor General's reports have noticed, for the past 3 decades, the problems with waste, mismanagement, and inefficiency are repeated time and time again. Now, I get that I have a huge disagreement with the political class. No, they don't agree with me at all. Supporters of big government don't agree with me. See, I think that they owe it to taxpayers to spend their money as efficiently as possible. Well, of course they don't. How government spend money wasn't even mentioned in the last federal election. That's also why any politician who dares to bring it up is in for trouble. I'm not sure anyone who pushes more transparency or pushes for more accountability, far more extensive measures of performance, including cost-benefit analysis, could ever get elected, and they'd certainly be demonized. After all, the popular narrative is that anyone who cares about those things is cold-hearted or worse. I just find it puzzling. In the meantime, enjoy filling out your tax form.